Hey everybody, Jason Golden, the Golden Realtor, here with keeping it golden real estate hot topic. So what are we talking about today? Well, I get asked a lot of the time, is it a great time to buy real estate here in Dallas or is it not? Here's my take on that. Ultimately, whether or not it's best for you now or in the future is 100% based on your personal and family goals. When considering if it's the right time, there are things that I think you should take into consideration. The first is local economy and employment. The second, housing affordability. Third, population growth. Fourth is housing inventory and months of supply. Fifth is new construction. Sixth is foreclosures, of course. And last but not least, number 7 is interest rates. Now let's check out housing inventory. So this chart just kind of gives you a snapshot of the last decade and how the housing inventory has drastically decreased. Housing inventory remains at historically low levels for Dallas, Fort Worth, and surrounding areas. And again, as long as the supply of inventory cannot meet the demand for housing due to population growth and buyers taking advantage of historically low interest rates, home prices will continue to increase, although at a much slower pace. The good news is that as work from home options remain an option and people are more comfortable with the response to COVID and the decline of cases, current homeowners are expected to sell their homes, which will increase the supply. Now, months of inventory or months of supply refers to the number of months it would take for the current inventory of homes on the market to sell, given the current sales pace. Historically, 6 months of supply is considered a balanced market. Anything below 6 months is considered a seller's market, and anything above 6 months, you got it, is considered a buyer's market. Now, it can be a different market depending on the price point. For instance, at a $200,000 to $300,000 price point, months of supply could be lower versus a $600,000 to $700,000 price point. However, overall, months of inventory continues to decline in all counties except for Kaufman, compared to October of last year. Still, if 6 months of inventory is a neutral market, we are far from being in a neutral market. So what can potentially make a difference? Well, let's check out new construction. According to the Texas A&M University Real Estate Research Center, the Texas Residential Construction Cycle Coincident Index, which measures current construction activity, elevated nationally and within Texas due to improved industry wages and construction value. So that's great news that the current construction activity is increasing. But now the bad news is that there's a downward trend in building permits. Single-family construction permits declined for the third consecutive month, falling 7.9% in August. DFW posted a double-digit monthly decline to 3,389 permits. This, however, is not true for multifamily building permits. In fact, Texas multifamily sector registered a steep expansion as issuance shifted more to 5 or more units. The plan, it seems, is to make more mass accommodations by building multifamily units such as apartment complexes rather than single-family units, as you can see by this graph. So it's possible that although home construction activity has picked up, building permits, particularly for single-family construction homes, has declined, and at some point, the number of new construction homes being built may slow down, and that is not so great news when it comes to housing inventory shortages. So the takeaway here is that we are still drastically in a seller's market and inventory still remains historically low. As we saw prior, new construction has increased. However, this uptick in new construction may trend downward as single-family permits have declined. So what else could help inventory? Of course, you're probably thinking foreclosed homes. Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that the number of foreclosed homes is not going to flip the market. Let's take a look at foreclosure activity.